Hello and welcome to day 4 of the UK side of Chronicles of EMS. We're here in beautiful Lobley Hill in Gateshead.
Hello.
Justin's nicely wrapped up warm. And we thought we'd try and give you a little bit of an insight into some of the things that we've been discussing over the last couple of days and some of the jobs that we've been doing. Justin's had a chance now to see the differences that I have in providing care in the northeast of England compared with what Justin does in the centre of San Francisco. So we thought we'd have a bit of a conversation on video so you could see the sort of things that we're discussing.
So one of the big differences, obviously, is Mark responding in a car by himself. I know some of you out there, especially in the rural areas, you're going out in a vehicle, an ALS vehicle, by yourself as first response, but then with that ambulance backing you up. Mark, we've been moved around on standby a little bit. It seems like we tumble positions with the ambulances.
Yeah.
How does your dispatch decide that? Is it just a fair shake, or do they put the cars only in certain places? How does that work?
The cars tend to do a lot more standbys than the vehicles do.
Okay.
And purely, like, we're now at a place called Lobley Hill, so our station is down that way, a couple of miles, and the next station, which you can't see because the cameras, is about 3-4 miles up that way. Now we're in the middle. What it probably means is that there's crews on both stations anyway, and they're not going to keep us on the station as well when they can deploy us in the middle to cover this area first.
Okay.
If Gateshead gets sent out, then we'll go up to Gateshead. If Swalwell gets sent out, then we'll move back down to Blade, and there's the area around Swalwell. So we're very much what we class as dynamic cover. We move around wherever the need is, and the computer systems in control are also patched into a historical computer program which says that there is a likelihood that a call is going to come in this area within the next couple of minutes or whatever, and then they'll move us there based on historical trends.
All right. And one other thing that's very interesting, radio communications in the Northeast Ambulance Service. You'll see Mark has this cell phone type radio here. It's for point-to-point communication only. Mark does not have an open channel. He has no way of knowing if those other ambulances have been dispatched to other emergencies, or which ambulance might be coming with him on an emergency and from what location. He can call up his control and ask for that information, but it's all point-to-point.
Yeah.
And now you said there's some more recent history as to why you don't have the open channel anymore, why it's point-to-point. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, it's never been open channel anyway. The whole reason this came in was after the 7/7 bombings in London. There was a lot of problems with communications between the agencies, and now these are in. We've got them, the police have them, and the fire brigade are about to get them. And once they're all in, then if there was a major incident happened, then we would actually be able to all go onto the same channel and then have open speech so we can talk between the services. The reason why this isn't on at the minute for open speech for us is purely it would probably cause more chaos than help with us, because if we heard everything that was going on, we would want to know why someone's doing this and why someone's doing that, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's almost better that we're kept in the dark about certain things.
Well, I like it. In San Francisco, we have an open channel for EMS and fire on the same channel. Ambulances are dispatched on a different channel, or posted on a different channel, I should say. We're all dispatched on the same channel. But I like being able to hear the units in my area, who's out, who's not. If I know there's a fire in one area and that my engine is coming from farther away, my first response engine, if I'm on the ambulance, I like knowing kind of that time frame.
Yeah.
It seems like you don't have that luxury.
No, I can see the benefit in that. I would like it.
Yeah.
But it's simple enough. If I need to know, I'll just press the button and then I'll see where's my nearest crew coming from and what's the ETA. Okay. But I can understand the ease of just being able to listen in and hear it.
Yeah. And also, Mark is sent out on pre-alerts before a call is completely coded, just to get a resource going underway.
Yeah.
And then it's, I think, only happened once so far that he's been stood down because the call's been reclassified. But for the most part, we're continuing in and making contact. A couple Category A's, Category B's.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had a Category C yet, have we?
No, yet.
Not yet. And I'll explain more about that on the blog, and I'm sure you can read Mark's blog and find out the difference between those categories. But one more thing I wanted to talk about just in this journal is the Respond Not Convey.
Yeah.
We've had a couple calls where you've told people they don't need to go, and they don't.
Yeah.
The majority have wanted your help and listened to your opinion and respected it and gone in. I've seen you talk a couple people into the hospital, you and the ambulance crews.
Yeah.
That's the same. Trying to talk the old lady with chest pain into the hospital, that's the same the world over. But taking on the responsibility on your shoulders of telling someone, no, you don't need to go, I'm not going to take you.
Yeah.
That's completely foreign to me, and I'm sure a lot of my American watchers.
Yeah.
Do you feel any greater sense of responsibility, or is that just part of what you do as a paramedic here in Newcastle?
It's part of what we do. It's not for everyone. Not all paramedics like to do it, because it is that ultimate responsibility of you making that clinical decision.
Yeah.
I'm fine doing it because I will not say that to someone unless I really, really believe that they don't need to go. And if something were bad to happen after, I know I could stand in front of a court or my peers and say at the time there was nothing to be concerned about whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that if you want to do the training to be able to do that, you have to be willing to take the responsibility as well. There's no point in doing it and then not actually telling people.
And now there's a number of different rank structures, real quick. Within the ambulance service, there's emergency care service worker.
Emergency care support worker.
Support worker, which is equivalent to somewhere between an ambulance driver and an EMT basic, I understand.
Yeah.
Then there's paramedic.
Well, there's advanced technician.
Advanced technician,
There's still a few of them left.
Yeah. Advanced technician is just below a paramedic. We had one call where the ambulance was an advanced technician, and Mark needed to attend to the patient, so Mark went with the patient. The technician drove the car in. Then there's paramedic.
Yeah.
And then paramedic team leader.
Yes.
And Mark is the team leader. Are you the only rank that's able to do the Respond Not Convey, or can the paramedics and advanced
all paramedics,
technicians?
once they've been a paramedic more than a year, can go on the course.
All right, so they've completed their coursework. They've had a year in the field.
Yeah.
We hope that in that year they've learned what kind of patients do and don't go.
You've got to be safe with what you do.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it works well. It's certainly something I find very, very valuable to do. As you've seen, even in the last, God, it must be about at least 40-50% where they haven't had an ambulance response, even if it's just taking them up in the car. One of the very first questions I get to when I'm making the decision about whether they need an ambulance or not, once I've decided they don't need an ambulance, it's always, do you have your own transport? If they don't have their own transport, then they'll just jump in the car.
Yeah, and it's an amazing resource to have just this little car to take people up to the hospital when they don't need that two-person ALS ambulance, and leave that resource open for another emergency, especially when you're on system status and the resources are as spread out as they are here compared to San Francisco and other urban areas.
But I can see this car in a nice sort of red colour with the San Francisco Fire Department down the side.
Well, it'd need to be 4x4 and seat 6, and but no, this is. In fact, the camera is sitting in the back of the little Ford right now, out of the wind. We hope the wind isn't too much of trouble. But we wanted to get on camera some of the things we've been talking about. I know the updates from my side have been mainly Mark and I out and about and doing what seems like some fun stuff, going to the Wall, to the Arsenal game. Sunderland won that game, 1-0 by the way. But there's a lot of discussions going on, and really it's standing in the room and watching Mark's decision making. It's no different than my own, but he's got so many other choices when he makes that decision. Mine is go or don't go, and usually the patients make the decisions for me. So we wanted to just give you guys a taste of what we've been talking about and what I'm trying to learn. I've got a notebook in the back of the car, and after every call I scribble down questions. And after this last run we had, the little fella, I had a whole slew of questions for him. So, well, it looks like the weather's moving in, so I think we'll move on.
Yeah.
And
we have noticed that there's been a couple of requests on Twitter to have a look around the car, and we'll sort that out in a separate little short video journal, probably later on today or tomorrow, so you'll get the view of the car and what I carry in the back as well.
Yep. So until next time, I'm Justin Shore from San Francisco Fire.
And I'm Mark Lenkos from the Northeast Ambulance Service.
And we're taking part in Chronicles of EMS. This is the project, day 4.
See ya.
Bye.